Hey everyone, appreciate you joining this morning. Welcome to this session of ConsensusCON Product and Integration Roadmap Review. I'll be your presenter today. My name is Brian Zurcher. I'm the Senior Product Manager here at Consensus. ConsensusCON is focused on helping our customers and future customers scale pre-sales by getting the most out of their Consensus automated demos. Our presenter lineup includes some of our top accounts as well as industry experts. So if this is your first session, welcome. If you've already been able to join a few others, hopefully you were able to appreciate that. And there's plenty more to come today that hopefully you're able to join. We're happy to announce as well that in a few days we'll be launching a new forum to continue to help build our user community and give you a space to communicate with one another, discuss best practices, and much more. We'll also be starting a monthly webinar series beginning in December, so coming up next month, to continue to provide resources for our user base. So keep an eye open for information about those coming up. Just as a heads up, there will be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions at all, make sure you place them in the Q&A section. And you'll also notice there's a chat section inside of the Zoom. If you have any issues or anything comes up like that during this presentation, I have Alex Edwards, our Director of Client Success, that is helping me to moderate today. So he'll be available in chat if you have any questions or anything like that comes up. He'll also be running our Q&A at the end. So again, if you have any questions, and he'll try to tease some out of you during the presentation, make sure you add those right into that Q&A section there. Before we jump in and get started, I want to just do some house cleaning, make sure everyone can hear and see everything okay. During this presentation, we're going to use the hand raise functionality a decent amount just so we can get kind of a running feedback going of some of the features that we'll go through and some of the interest or some of the things you guys are experiencing with Consensus right now. For those of you that want to or can, I want to have you move your mouse around over the Zoom screen. You'll see the little hand that comes up in the bottom bar. Go ahead and press that for me so I can make sure everyone can hear me okay and I can see some of those hands raised. Perfect. I see a bunch of hands going up, so that's good to see. Go ahead and lower those hands, and now I want to make sure that you can see the presentation okay. So if you can see the title screen with the product and integration roadmap overview and my picture on there as well, raise your hand to make sure that everyone can see the screen the way that hopefully they need to. All right, perfect. I think we are all set then. So we're excited to go through our product feature roadmap. This is going to cover a lot of different things that the Consensus Labs team is working on. Some of them are currently being worked on. Some of them are more ideas that we are focusing on, and we're starting to do some original analysis and ideating of the particular feature. So hopefully as we go through, this will give you really good insight into what our teams are trying to focus on, some of the value or additional value that we want to be able to provide to you as a user as well. So before we get started, the first thing we have to go through legally is our NDA slide. Of course, some of the features we're going to be talking about are brand new features, and a lot of them are going to be, hopefully, features that have a major impact within the Consensus application, as well as within the industry. So just to make sure you understand, all of these slides are protected by NDA, and so we want to make sure you understand that everything provided here, of course, is protected under that NDA as well, and that they are all within our roadmap. They're not completed features, so what you see as an end result may change slightly from some of the slides you see here. So let's jump right in. The first thing I want to talk about is actually a feature that is currently in development, and this is what we call our rep intro video. What this feature does is give your users an opportunity to create a video that they can place in front of the actual demo experience for their recipients. This video is going to play right inside of the organization entry page, or the Who Are You page, where we ask your viewers to select who they are in order to determine who's watching the demo and track their analytics accordingly. Well, what we've heard in feedback is a lot of our users want to be able to not only allow users to personalize the demo by selecting what's important, but they want to be able to introduce themselves as the rep that's going to be working with them during that sales process. In order to do that, we're building out this rep intro video feature that will let your users, or you as a user, be able to add a default feature, a default intro video to play right in that Who Are You page in order to be able to introduce yourself and then allow your viewers to jump into the demo to then personalize the demo experience for themselves. This rep intro video will play every time they jump into that demo board that you create for them. They can, of course, always click on their name to jump right through it if they've already seen it, but it's a great way for your reps to be able to create some sort of connection, personal connection with those that are viewing the demo. This is really important, especially as viewers of your demo are sharing the demo with other recipients, and those new recipients, those additional stakeholders that we're helping you discover, can now have a quick introduction to the actual sales rep that they'll be working with. This will be available within all of the direct demo boards that you create in the application and in other places, as well as with mail merge links. So if you are utilizing mail merge inside of Consensus to be able to send out a large email campaign inside of, let's say, Marketo or Outreach or any tool like that, you can also build a rep intro video that can be included inside of that type of campaign as well. So a few things just in what the functionality will allow you to do. Not only can you create some sort of default intro video that will play or can be included inside of those demo boards, but this feature will also give you an opportunity to actually record a custom intro video on the fly. So if you're already working with a prospect and you want to be able to maybe update the rep intro video of an existing demo board or start with a brand new, fresh, custom rep intro video, you can do that right inside of the application by selecting the Create Custom option. And if you're accessing the Consensus web app within Chrome or within Edge, we use the Chromium-based video recorder to allow you to record this message right inside of the web app. And what I actually want to do is jump inside of the web app and show you some of the things that our team is working on to build out. Now, this is obviously an earlier stage development, but we've already made it far enough along where I can showcase the actual recording functionality placed right inside of the web app. So one of the things you'll be able to do is go to your profile page in My Profile, which is right under this little icon here where you either have your profile pic or the organization name, and you'll see My Profile. What you'll be able to do is record a default intro video card. And again, that is what you saw here for the Use My Default. That way, as you're creating demo boards, instead of having to create a brand new one every single time and send it out, you can have a default that maybe isn't as specific to a user's name or a recipient's name or an organization name or anything like that, but a default generic one that you can quickly and easily send out over and over again so that you can have that personalized intro without having to go through the work of creating a personalized intro for each unique demo board. Now, you may want to create that unique one for the given demo board, and you can, of course, do that as well. But inside of your profile, you'll have an opportunity where you'll be able to set up a recorder, and you'll be able to see me here in just a sec as it loads. And of course, with the Zoom meeting going and everything like that, it may not actually pull the recorder up because I'm also sharing my screen. But that recorder will pull up here. You'll be able to record that. It'll give you the countdown, and you'll be able to go through and determine what you want to show and how you want to have that recorded. And then you'll be able to finish that right inside of here. Once that's done, that will then give you that ability to have that default intro video card right inside of the demo board or inside of the application, so that every demo board you create, you'll be able to send out that rep intro video. So hopefully that gives some really cool insight into what that rep intro video is going to do. That's a really powerful feature that we've had a lot of requests for. So hopefully those that are here attending see some value in being able to add this, whether they're a sales rep sending it one-off every time to different prospects, or even on the marketing side of the house, we've had a lot of people express interest in being able to add some type of introduction to a rep that they would be working with as they make it through their campaigns, and then they're assigned to the sales side of the house from that point. So a lot of possibilities here, and we're trying to build it in a way that's flexible to allow it to meet the needs of your specific use cases. So let's jump into the next area that we're really trying to enhance or overhaul in a lot of ways inside of the application. A lot of the feedback we've gotten about Consensus is that it can be somewhat difficult in managing your demos inside of the Manage Demos page. So what we're doing is introducing foldering to allow you to easily organize the demos inside of your Manage Demos page. And we're actually updating it to the idea of what we call a demo library. So inside of a library, if you go in, anyone that goes in has the ability to view all of the books in a library, right? But in order to check one out to use it, you have to have specific permission, right? You have to check it out, and the library has to allow you to do that so that you can then take and utilize that book, let's say. this is going to be very similar to how our demo library works. We're building it in a way where you have access to the demo library so that your users, like your sales reps, can preview the different demos that you have available. And you can organize them in a way that maybe organizes it by language or by product line or by use case, so that as your sales reps or that you are inside of there, then you can quickly understand what the different demos are built for and easily navigate to the demos that you want to be able to find. We're also building it in a way so that all of the different demo types are combined in the same table. That makes it much easier for you to be able to search for a demo, and regardless of it being an advanced demo, a standard branching demo, or a single video demo, one simple search will pull up all of the different demos that are related to that search, regardless of demo type, as well as any folder that's relevant to that specific search, making it a lot easier to be able to go back and find the demo that you want to be able to find. Some of the other elements we're adding inside of this update is the idea of being able to request demo access. And we'll jump through that a little bit as well. But this gives the ability to, for those users that don't have access to a demo, then they can be able to request the access from the owner of the demo. So that way, instead of you always having to be the one that pushes it out, if you have sales reps that are more proactive, that want to see what content's available inside of the system, they'll be able to jump in, look at the different the demos they have available, preview them inside of the demo library, and then be able to request access from that owner, who can then of course give them access or potentially not give them access if they determine that they shouldn't be able to access that demo. And again, just like an actual library, if the library says, unfortunately, you can't have it, then that user can't use that demo, whether that's to create a demo board, whether that is to get the public link for that demo or anything like that. They'll be limited in the library to just be able to preview it, just like you can inside of a normal library. The other thing you'll notice is we have a My Demos tab. This is going to be very similar to what you currently experience inside of the Manage Demos page, where it simply shows all of the demos you have access to. Now, of course, if you're an admin, you automatically get access to all demos so that you can see everything that's available in there and you can use any demo that you want. But for a sales rep, it's going to build this limited table for them that will show all of the demos that they have direct access to use, whether for a sales rep, it's to create that demo board, or for a marketing rep to be able to get the public link from there. And of course, they can preview and do all of those things inside of there as well. Now, as you're creating these folders, we're going to build it in a way that is multi-level, so that it's not just a single level of folders, but just like you would have inside of your operating system, whether you're a PC or a Mac person, inside of those foldering systems, you can create folders and subfolders and multiple levels of subfolders. And you'll be able to do that inside of the demo library as well. So you may have a folder for a product line, but then maybe underneath that product line folder, you have a sales and a marketing folder, or a BDR and an account executive folder, or however you want to organize it in a way that allows you to easily go back and find that demo that you're looking for, to either make adjustments to it or anything like that, or to make sure that your other users can go in there and easily navigate to demos that are going to be the most relevant for them. One of the things we're also adding is the ability to give groups access to these folders. So if you have a group hierarchy set up inside of your account, you'll have the ability to actually add a group to a folder and then determine if that group should be able to automatically have what we call can use access, which means they can create that demo board, they can get that public link, but they wouldn't be able to actually edit the demo unless you give them additional permissions to be able to do so. So this is a really easy way now, instead of having to go per demo or within the managed groups, select the individual demos, you can set a folder up and give that folder access to a specific group. And then any demo that you place inside of that folder or that you create inside of that folder will then be given access for that group. So those users in that group will automatically be able to utilize those demos. And then, of course, you can also include subgroups. So if you added, for example, this sales group here, and you wanted the subgroups to all be able to access the demos inside of this particular folder you're building, then you can easily do that. This just gives you another way to manage the access of your different sales users within the different groups, to make sure that managing that is as easy as possible for you. The final thing I want to talk about with the demo library are some of the access elements that we're building out. We talked a little bit about before requesting access to a demo. And that's something that a user will be able to do when they don't have access to it. They can't use it inside of their My Demos tab. but they can jump into the demo library and they can preview it. You can see here when you have that type of access where you only can see it in the demo library, they can preview it here, but they can't edit it, of course, because they don't have that access or see any analytics or anything like that for it. If they click on more actions, they can't click on create demo board, get public link like you can with demos that you do have access to. But there's a few things they can do. The first thing they can do is follow a demo. So that way, if there's any changes to the demo content, let's say you update a demo video and someone who has access to that demo wants to know if there's ever any changes. So as they're sending it out to their prospects, they know if there's ever a new demo, a new logo, or something like that that changes inside of the actual demo itself. When that happens, they'll receive a quick email that lets them know that this demo has been adjusted, and they'll be able to jump into the demo library to preview the demo and see what's changed. You'll also, again, be able to follow a folder. So if you're following a folder and there's a new demo added to that folder, then you'll be able to get an email update so that you immediately know that, hey, there's a new demo available in this folder. And then it'll give you a link to be able to jump in and be able to preview that demo. Some of these features are coming based on a lot of the feedback we get about those that actually manage demos for different teams. We understand it can be a little bit of a hassle to make sure when you have a new demo that all your users get access to it. And not only that, they're made aware of it. This gives you a really simple way to, as you're adding groups, you can have them follow so that they get those types of updates for everyone in the group, as well as individuals, so that if you add a demo to a folder, you know that everyone in that group that you're managing automatically will get an email update letting them know that there's a brand new demo that they can jump in, they can preview, and then they can start to use based on their permissions. So hopefully that gives a lot of additional management type of feature and functionality as you're managing those demos, and a lot of flexibility in terms of how you can structure your demo library to make sure that it's built out in a way that's organized and allows you to easily work with the demos that you have inside of your account. The other thing we're enhancing is then the access levels to demos as well. So right now it's fairly basic where they can either have access to the demo, and then based on their permissions, they can either use that demo to create demo boards or edit it or whatever it may be, or they don't have permission to it and then they simply can't access it. We're going to add a few different levels so that you can determine what you want them to be able to do with that demo. So you can see in this image below, there's that can use access. And we referenced that in the previous slides, where that simply gives them the ability to use the demo either to create a demo board, a mail merge link, or get the public link based on the permissions they have in their system. The next level is then can edit. So this now gives them the ability to be able to edit the demo, but it doesn't give them the ability to edit different access or permission elements about that demo. That's reserved for the can manage level. And can manage now gives that additional access to be able to determine who should have access to this demo. If it can ever be deleted, that's restricted to the can manage. As well as archived and a few other managerial or not necessarily demo content related, but kind of the behind the scenes management of the demo itself and where it's placed, who has access to it, and all of that stuff. And then the last thing we're doing is developing the idea of a demo owner. That is the person that is in charge of that demo. When a user requests access to the demo, that request for access goes to the demo owner. So a lot of times you may have someone that creates demos. Maybe you have a pre-sales rep that's really good at creating demos, but then it's going to be that team manager that's actually the demo owner, because they're the one that's going to determine who should have access. And so if people request, they want to be able to have that access request go to that team lead instead of that pre-sales rep that happens to be creating the demos. So in that approach, that creator can jump in and add that team lead as the owner of the demo, which would then drop that creator to a can manage level. So they can still manage the demo and do everything they need to if there's ever any edits or anything like that that need to be made. But now that team lead is going to be set as the owner so that he can deal with more the ultimate management side and what team should have access to it and everything like that. So we're hoping that gives some really good flexibility based on the different use cases that we're starting to see people have as they're developing more demos, as more teams are getting involved inside of the development of a demo and the usage of a demo. We want to make sure it's flexible enough to allow you to be able to work with these demos and the access in a way that lets you drive your specific use case for how your organization is set up. All right, so let's jump into the next area. And this is kind of maintaining some of the more admin side of the house, if you will, with that demo library. The next element that we're currently working on right now actually is a manage groups update. So if you've worked inside of the groups right now, you have the ability to create multiple levels of a hierarchy of groups. And this goes a long way to help you understand the demolytics and be able to parse out sales demolytics by different teams that you have to understand how effective each of your different teams are being, as well as allow you to more easily manage what access to demos that people have within those groups. Because just like you saw in the foldering inside of the demo library, you can do a similar thing inside of the managed groups where you can add demos to a group instead of having to go into each individual demo and give that access. You can simply jump into the managed groups and then inside of a group, go through the dropdown and select the demos that you want, making it much quicker and easier to manage what demos those users in that group have. So this update doesn't change any of that type of functionality that works really well for most of our users. What this does is make it more visually understandable about how your teams are set up within your hierarchy and what type of users are set up inside of those accounts. This will start to give you more of the total license counts inside of your different groups so that you have a better idea of understanding of your license utilization and understanding if there's extra licenses out there that you can apply to maybe other users inside of different groups or in a completely different group that you may want to be able to add. What you're looking at here is Consensus as the account level group, and you can see that designated that will show within your own account as well as that top level group. Currently within the hierarchy, we don't show that account level group, but we feel it's important to add to make sure that you can understand at the highest level what everything rolls up and looks like to be. And then underneath Consensus, as you see these additional groups, they are listed as subgroups underneath Consensus. So you see Consensus, then you see this subgroup, and then you see the subgroup underneath that one, and then you see the list of all the subgroups underneath this distributor X group here. So it easily flows down to show you that hierarchy structure along the way so that you can more easily understand the location of the groups as you're searching through them. So in this case, I can tell that reseller one, even though they are a third level group under the account group, I can easily see how that flows all the way back up to that main Consensus account in this example without having to click back if you've worked in the current one to try to understand how those groups are connected, where everything is set up. So we're hoping this visual update allows you to more easily manage and understand how that hierarchy is set up within your organization, and then more easily be able to navigate through and make any changes or adjust as you need to make sure that that hierarchy aligns more easily with how you need to have it set up for your account. Okay, so let's jump into the demo player now itself. This is what we see as one of our top areas that we're always trying to improve and make sure that it has the best user experience, because this is really where the rubber meets the road for Consensus. The better our demo player experience is for your users, the better experience you have, because your end viewers will watch the demo, engage more, you'll get better analytics about what they're watching, what their interests are, so that you can use that data in order to drive those prospects. So we're always looking for ways to enhance the demo player, and this is one of the updates that we have coming down the road that's actually currently being worked on right now. So one of the things we're doing is enhancing the feature titling to make sure that it's easier to see what feature you're in right now, while still giving the opportunity for them to see what features are coming up and what features they've selected based on their responses from that personalization stage. So you can see, instead of trying to cram all of the features in the top bar, we're building it out in a way that shows the feature title of what they're watching right now for them to be able to view. And then by clicking anywhere in this top bar or on this menu icon, it'll drop down the menu for the features that have been queued up for this viewer, highlighting the one that they're currently on. And then, just like any menu you would expect online, by selecting the feature title within the menu, it'll jump to that feature to directly play for them. So it creates a little bit smoother and easier to understand view flow for the user as they go through, and as they jump from one feature to the next, it'll update the title so they know exactly what feature they're watching, as well as give them a count so that they understand how far along in their demo experience they've gotten. There are other updates that are going to be coming along the way with this one, but this is really one of the ones that we're trying to work on to be able to understand how our viewers are interacting with our demo and how we can implement a way to drive that engagement even more for them. So one of the things we wanted to talk about as well is bulk user adjustment. So a lot of you that have large teams that you work with will need to make adjustments to the teams, whether it's where a team member is located, whether it is the role of a team member, or whether it is simply some sort of naming convention that you need to adjust or something like that. Currently within the application, you can do those things within managed users. However, it's by a single user individually. So if you're going through a major reorg and all of a sudden your teams are all split up and now parsed out differently, in order to go through inside of your account and make those adjustments can be fairly time consuming. So what we're doing is allowing you to utilize the bulk upload feature in order to make bulk user adjustments. This will essentially do the same thing that the bulk upload for new users would do, and giving you the opportunity to add the multiple users in one single upload. But now it'll associate the email address with the file that you upload so that any user whose email address already exists inside of our system, as opposed to throwing an error and telling you that this user already exists, what it will do for you now is update all of the new information that you've added inside of that upload. So for example, if this Sarah Brewer already exists inside of your account, but you needed to change her group and her role because of how some things have been reorganized inside of your account or your organization, then within a CSV upload for her and whoever else would need to be adjusted, you can include her information. And then if you change the group and the role to a different role and a different group inside of your account, we will automatically update Sarah to that newest group and role for you. And if you do that with a CSV of 100 users, instead of having to go through and click individually on each of those users to update some of those elements, you'll be able to do that with one simple upload into the system and update all of those users all at the same time. This hopefully will give a lot of ability for you to make sure you can easily update users, especially where we're trying to add more and more features. The user contact info feature was one we just released a couple of weeks ago, where your users can now add their own contact information to the demo boards that they create. And so if you want to make sure that they have a more robust profile that shows inside of those demo boards, then you can go through and add a LinkedIn and a Twitter and a title right inside of the bulk user upload. The idea being that you'd eventually be able to add the calendar link and other aspects that we slowly add to the functionality of the My Profile page so that you can easily update those users en masse instead of having to go in one at a time to make sure that you have the most updated information. All right, so we have a lot of features we're going through, so hopefully we're not going so fast that we lose you on anything. And again, these are all things that are either being actively worked on or are in current analysis and review right now. So hopefully something in here is exciting and something that really draws your attention. This next one is one of the requests that we get probably more often than not. And I actually want to see by a raise of hand how many people have run into the problem where you're working with a prospect and you send them a demo board, but now you need to send them a different demo to view, and you're having to go into the system and create a brand new demo board just to be able to send them a second demo. So I know, I see quite a few hands going up, and it's definitely something that we ourselves experience. And so this is an area that we've wanted to enhance for our own usage inside of Consensus as well. And this is the idea of being able to have a multi-demo demo board. Essentially, that's what the demo board in the end will resultingly be, is an opportunity to send them a link to multiple demo experiences that you can add to that single invitation to make it really easy for you as a user to be able to go back into an existing invitation and be able to add multiple demos to an existing invitation. Or as you create a demo board, you'll be able to add multiple demos inside of a single demo board that you create to then send out a link to that for your viewers. Now, as the viewers initiate the view, the very first demo they see will be a primary demo that you set for them, but they'll have the opportunity to pull out a tray that will have all of the different demos available to them inside of the demo board that you've created. So as they watch the demo, they'll be able to pull out and see other demos, or as they finish a demo and jump back in, this tray will be presented to them to make sure that you're continually driving the additional demo experiences that you want them to go through after they watch that very first one. And again, we're going to be building this out in a way that allows you to not only take an existing demo and be able to add another demo on top of it, but we're building out in a way that will allow you to take multiple demo boards that you've already created, maybe for the same opportunity, and be able to merge those existing demo boards together. So by raise of hand, how many of you already have the situation where you have an opportunity that has 3 or 4 or even more demo boards that you've created for them because you have those different demos that you want them to go through? Yeah, I see tons of hands. Now let's lower our hands. How many of you have already heard from your prospects that you're working with that it's difficult to find the link to the one demo that you want them to watch because each of those demo boards has a different link? Yep, absolutely. So again, this is the same issue that we run into, our own sales teams are running into. So this will give you the opportunity to be able to send them one link that will contain all of the different demos that you want them to be able to see. And as you merge those demos together, any previous link that you had will now automatically forward to that new created merged demo board that has the multiple demos inside of there. So hopefully this feature is something that you see a lot of value in for being able to drive that type of experience in the sales cycle where they may start with one demo, but past that one demo, you will most likely send follow-up demos, maybe a testimonial demo, maybe a security and privacy demo, a GDPR demo, or other things like that that are going to be relevant for them to be able to go through as they go through the sales process to understand how onboarding is going to be and what they need to do to finish the deal out and make sure that they have all of the checkboxes marked that they need to go through procurement and everything like that. This is a really exciting feature for us, and hopefully this is something that you guys will see a lot of value in as well. Now, because we're building these demo boards to have multiple demos inside of them, there's a lot behind the scenes that we're doing to make sure that you can truly understand the engagement of your opportunity based on the demos that they're watching inside of their demo board. So as this feature comes out, it's going to completely enhance the demo details pages or the demo board organization analytics pages for the different demo boards that you have. It will include all of the same information that you're used to now with that single demo board, and you'll be able to find that within the different demo lists here, and you'll be able to peek down to see that same type of view that you have right now. But along with that, we also want to give you more roll-up and holistic analytics for all of the demos that are now included inside of that demo board. So we'll give you a demo board total so you can understand how many total recipients and views and total view time for all the demos and total stakeholders discovered, as well as documents downloaded from this demo board so that you can understand on a whole how much this opportunity has engaged with this demo board. Underneath that, we'll then give you the demo breakdown of the demo boards so that you can see all of the different demos included inside of this demo board, and then be able to individually see within the table, the demos table underneath it, how much engagement has happened within each of the demos that are included inside of this demo board. This gives you a really incredible high-level view of where the engagement has happened inside of the demo board. So I can see that this top demo, and it's probably tricky to see over the Zoom, but hopefully you can see the engagement dots here in the chili pepper scale, where you can easily see which demos the opportunity is spending the most time in and where they've started to engage a little bit, but not necessarily all that much. You'll be able to see individual times for views and view times and the days since last activity, just like you're used to seeing right now within the Demolytics for your specific demo boards. But now you'll see them for each of the different demos inside of a single demo board. And you'll be able to click on a peek icon, which works similar to if you have experience with the qualified leads page inside of our system, where that peek drops down the table to give you additional information. And this is where you'll be able to find all of the different individual demo viewing details. So this is the page you're used to seeing right now that has the green dots that represent the very somewhat, or the clear dot that represents not important. And you'll be able to see the different individual view times for each viewer inside of these demos as well. Now, this is great to view the totals for the different demo board and the demos, but of course, one of the most vital things inside of a demo board are the recipients. So we're also enhancing the different views that you can have by developing brand new graphs to help you understand engagement that's happening within the demo board. This very top one is what we call the stakeholder engagement timeline. And this is going to give you an incredible visual view of when your different viewers inside of a demo board engage with different demos that you have inside of it. So in this graph, you can see each dot representing a different demo, and each dot has different sizes, which represents the percentage of the demo that they actually complete. So not only can you quickly and easily see when they watched what demo, but you can actually see how much they actually completed. And this is not going to be just based on sheer view time, but it'll be based on view time as a percentage of the total demo time, so that you can understand if it's a smaller demo and they only watched a minute and a half, well, maybe that's 90% of the demo. So it'll represent itself as a larger circle. So you can understand that they almost completely engaged with that demo, where if they watched a minute of a 10-minute demo, it'll be represented as a smaller circle. So you can understand there's only initial or very small engagement with what's possible inside of that demo. This graph will also contain horizontal lines based on any changes that you make to the demo board. So if all of a sudden you add a demo, or a new stakeholder is discovered, or you delete it or remove a demo from a demo board, or something like that happens where you adjust the actual demo board itself, we're going to note that inside of this timeline so that you have the perspective of why there might be more views all of a sudden, or why there might be more viewers or something like that, so that you always have that contextual understanding of where those views are coming from and what's happened over time with this particular demo board. And of course, all the elements will be hoverable, so you can go over the different demo bubbles to see what demo it was, the exact view time and location, and the percentage that's viewed, to understand what that engagement was for that individual view along each of the different stakeholders included inside of this demo board. And then we're going to start building out stakeholder discovery maps for you, so that not only can you understand who was originally invited by you, and then who was invited by another recipient, or who was a self-register and clicked on new viewer, but you can start to understand the map of who invited whom, and then who that next person invited, and so on and so forth. This will give you incredible detail into understanding how things connect inside of that opportunities organization. If Jeff shared with Maria, and then Maria shared with Jason, and Jason shared with Chris, then you can start to understand the relationship as you're working with Chris, and how Chris is connected all the way back to Jeff through Jason and Maria. And this gives you incredible insight into the organization that you're working with, to be able to understand, as you're working with each of these stakeholders, what their position is, what their role is, how they're connected inside of the organization, and how they came about to jump into your demo board. And then of course you can align that with their different viewer experiences, so you can see when that first view happened all the way to when that last view happened, and how everyone is engaging with that demo board. So hopefully this is something exciting for you to see, and something that is being worked on to come, so that you can get even more out of the demo boards that you're creating, make it an easier experience for you and for your viewers to be able to go through and watch the demos that you've created. So the next few that I want to go through, we're going to go through pretty quick, because again, we're coming pretty close to the end of the session here, and I want to make sure we can get through everything. But hopefully you can start to see that there's a lot of areas that we're working on to try to improve, and most of these areas come from your feedback and what we hear from you, to try to make the experience better for you, so that you can get that much more value out of the system. One of the major elements we want to focus on is a content manager. Right now, as you create a demo, you upload a video asset for each of the demos that you create. We're building it out in a way that will allow you to have a content manager, so that you can upload one single asset into the content manager, and then be able to use that asset within demos that you create. That will allow you to then update a single asset to be able to update all of the demos across the board that utilize that asset. That will work for videos, for logos, for background images, and everything like that. So that way you can easily manage not only the demos with the demo library, but the assets that those demos use with the content manager. This will also contain individual asset analytics, so that you can start to understand how well individual assets are performing for you, such as a specific video. And it'll break it down by demo and how it's used in that demo, so that you can get an idea of what the drop off or average view time rate for this asset is as a feature video, as a single video demo, as an intro video, or however else you're using it, so that you can start to understand if this video works well as an intro, or if the drop off is significant after a few seconds and it's not catching their attention. So that way you can understand how to enhance your individual assets to be able to enhance the overall demo experience. The other thing we're working on is custom text for the demo player. We know this is one that most people have requested, and it's one that we absolutely want to get to. And what it will allow you to do is create a custom text file off of one of the existing defaults that we have. So you'd be able to start with, let's say English, for example, and then as you select English, it'll allow you to then adjust all of the different phrases or text used inside of the demo player in order to adjust it to make sure that it fits really well with your use case. And you can save multiple custom demo languages. So maybe you want to have a English language specifically for testimonial demos. Maybe you want one specifically for a security and privacy demo and specifically for a different type of product demo. You can create multiple demo languages based off of a single starting language, and then adjust each of the different elements based on what's going to make the most sense for the specific use case of that particular demo. The other thing we're always trying to enhance is our demo security to give you more flexibility and functionality to make sure that viewers view what you want them to, but the viewers or people you don't want to see your demo are also restricted as well. So currently we offer the idea of an expiration by views, which means after a viewer or each viewer has a certain amount of views, let's say 3 views, the demo will expire for that viewer. We're going to be enhancing that type of expiration by also adding an expiration by days so that you can set a default of how many days you want it to expire by or select a specific calendar date. So maybe you're sending some sort of proposal demo in order to review a proposal, but that expires at the end of the quarter, whatever your quarter may be. You can set it so that this particular demo expires at the end of that quarter. So that way they can no longer access that, helping you make sure that maybe some of the pricing or some of the features that were made available for special pricing for that quarter can be locked down to make sure that they can't jump back into that demo board and assume that that continues after them. There's a lot of different use cases to make that expire, but this gives you the functionality to be able to set that expiration by the number of days or to a specific date as well. The other thing we're building out is the ability to add passwords to your demo boards. That way, if you want to make sure that that can't simply just be passed around or found by someone else to jump into, then your users can set a quick password for the demo board to make sure that those watching it have a requirement of knowing what that password is in order to be able to jump in and access that particular demo board. The other thing we're driving is a no-view notification system. This is really a way to help your users as they're creating demo boards and sending them out. If they're anything like our teams, they're probably sending out dozens of demo boards a lot of times each week. And a lot of times it can be hard to jump back into the system and try to track who's watched it, who hasn't, who do I need to follow up with. So the no-view notification is built in a way that allows it to be really easy to automatically follow up on demo boards that have no views. So you would simply set the number of days after which you want the notification, and then the number of times you would want that notification to repeat. So let's say for this example, I want to get notified every 3 days if this demo board has no views. And I want that to happen up to 5 times. So I know for the next 15 or so days, I'm going to get a reminder so that I can ping that opportunity and say, hey, I noticed you haven't watched that demo board. Here's the link again. Make sure you can jump in, whether that's in preparation for a call or just because you want to make sure they can jump in there so that you understand how to follow up with them. This gives a simple and easy way to allow your users that are creating demo boards to have a quick reminder if any demo board they send out doesn't have any views yet. The other thing we're working on, and this goes back to building out additional ways to make it easier to manage your demos, as well as manage the users that are creating demos, and that's the ability to create a demo theme. And a demo theme would be a set of contact information, logos and coloring, languages, and elements like that inside of a demo that you can then preset as a demo theme. And then what you'd be able to do is assign it to users and even limit users to specific demo themes. So if you want to make sure if your sales reps are creating Snap demos and you want to make sure they're always using your specific colors and logo and everything like that, then you can do that by setting a demo theme and then restricting those sales users to only having access to that one demo theme. That would mean that they can no longer customize the colors inside of the demo or the logo or anything like that that you preset in that theme, because that's going to be restricted by the theme you create to help make sure that anyone that's creating demos is following those types of branding guidelines that you want to make sure align across the board for all the demos that you create. With this demo theme, it'll also give you a quick way to easily update demos by updating your demo theme. So if you have a specific red color that you use in your demos, but now marketing has adjusted that to be maybe a slightly darker red, you can go into your demo theme, adjust that color in the demo theme, and then any demo that uses that demo theme will automatically be updated to make sure that it uses that correct branding, that proper red that's been adjusted. And again, that's the same for color, or if you adjust the language that you have set inside of the demo theme, that will automatically update when you adjust that language inside of the theme. So that should make it a lot easier to make sure that your users are restricted in a way that allows them to use the type of styling and branding that you want represented for your company within any demos that they create. One of the last things is the idea of a animated demo board link. So this is something that would allow you to take the demo itself that is created, which we use right now to grab some of the image links for your demo board, and simply be able to have the opportunity to select animate. So that way, any video that you're using inside of a demo to create a demo board, you would be able to then animate, and we would play in a GIF format so that it plays, as you see here, inside of an email. It would play the first 3 or so seconds. And then we build some different snippets. So you'd have about 3 or so quick little animated icons that you could choose from, depending on what little section of that demo video you'd want to represent the GIF, that you could then copy and paste inside of your email or wherever else you're sending that to your viewer. The other feature here is that you'd be able to upload any GIF image that you already have on your desktop. Maybe you have a really funny, clever one, and you want to be able to use that in the email in order to link to the demo board here. Then you'd be able to upload that GIF image here as well. And then we would use that particular GIF as you then click copy in order to use that as the GIF that links them to their specific demo board. So this is a way to, again, drive that engagement inside of those emails, where those GIFs can have an even bigger impact than what images can have, as it draws the reader's attention right to that link, to that GIF image link that's animated, to then drive them into the demo experience. And then because it's pulling from the demo experience, it'll align from the GIF link or the image animated link that they're seeing right into the demo experience that they go through when they click inside of there. So the last things we want to talk about then are some of the integrations that we're working on. And both of these we're currently working on right now to try to push out as quickly as we can. But I don't have any type of ETA right now, again, as we talked about before. The first one is a more native integration with Outreach. This will allow you to now be able to create the same type of links for templates inside of Outreach within an email template for Outreach. So you can use the image links generated from inside of Consensus and place those right inside of your email templates for the different campaigns or sequences that you're running inside of Outreach. The other part of this integration is that it will allow for some of the analytics that you gain inside of the Trek demo boards to be able to be found right inside of Outreach as well, where Outreach uses the concept of contacts and opportunities and accounts. Our goal is to sync the data from those demo boards into those pages within Outreach, so that anyone that's received a demo board inside of your Outreach, you'll be able to see the analytics for those different demo boards right inside of there. Again, with the goal of helping make sure that utilizing Consensus, creating and sending those demo boards out becomes as simple and easy as possible. This will also work in Outreach with direct messages, where you can send a direct message to a specific contact inside of Outreach. You'll be able to go through this same process and create that demo board link right inside of Outreach for that direct message as well. And then the last thing that we want to showcase is our mobile app that we're currently working through and wireframing out. This mobile app will give those users, especially those that are field reps that are out and about, or even for users that are at home, be able to take advantage of a lot of the features and functionality of Consensus right on their mobile app. You'll be able to create those same types of multi-demo demo board that we talked about before. You'll be able to add that rep intro video that we talked about earlier as well, right from inside of that mobile app, whether that's the default that you already have, or you'll be able to record one really quickly with your phone and send that out as a custom rep intro video for that particular demo board as well. And then you'll be able to share the links right from your mobile phone, whether that's through your Gmail or Apple Mail or whatever you're using. You'll be able to share either the image, the button, or the text links right from inside of your mobile app. Inside of this app, you'll also be able to see a very in-depth track demo boards pages where you can track analytics right from inside of the app. It'll also be used for notifications. So even more succinct than what email notifications are, you'll be able to get notifications of demo board views and shares right inside of your mobile app so that you can make sure that you're right on top of those opportunities and understand exactly when people are engaging with those demos to be able to interact with them and reach out, ask how that experience went, and make sure that you can follow up with them. So I know that was running through a lot of different features that we have, and I know we ran through each one pretty quickly, and we have a ton more features that are lined up for us to start digging through that we really want to try to drive for you guys. We understand there's a lot of features and a lot of areas that we can continue to drive to make sure you're getting more and more value out of the platform, and we're excited to be able to release some of these features that are already being worked on, as well as queuing up a lot of these other ones that we reviewed, and many, many more from there. So that's it for the presentation today. I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to Alex, who's been moderating for us to jump into some Q&A to see what questions we have.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. So we do have a few questions come through. We don't have a ton of time to answer all of them, so we'll just kind of go through those who submitted first. So first one here is from Ann. It says, will it ever be possible to put a demo on a review schedule so the demo owner will be automatically notified when the demo should be reviewed for stale content?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I know that's one of the things we would like to eventually get to is the idea of some sort of reminder system so that after a certain amount of maybe months or something like that, that you as the owner of the demo get a quick email to make sure you can jump in and review those demos. A lot of the architecture that we're building for the new demo library will allow us to be able to create those types of notifications. That's how we're doing it for when you follow a demo, right? When there's any changes, the system's going to be built in a way that will allow you to be able to generate an email based on any changes. And something like being able to set up your own reminder is something that we could easily look into. So that's really good feedback, something that I think would be of a lot of value. And hopefully the demo library will set the ground for us to be able to do so.
Perfect. Okay, we really only have one more time or time for one more. It says, when creating a demo board, will we have the same features as the demo library? Will we be able to apply these filters in create demo board?
As you create a demo board in terms of searching for a specific demo that you want to be able to use?
That's what it appears to me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we are trying to work on enhancing how you select a demo inside of Create Demo Board. If you've ever used Consensus Snap, you'll notice it has a little bit cleaner of a setup when you're selecting demos, where it has a recent option, a recent, or you can select from all, single, standard, or advanced, or you can do a search. So we are looking at building this type of functionality inside of Create Demo Board, where instead of just a dropdown with every single demo you have access to, inside of that dropdown, it'll also contain some of the different filters here so that you can easily jump to the demos that you want to find. If there's additional filters and things that you think would be valuable in that type of Create Demo Board situation, we'd love to hear from you. And in fact, if you have any other ideas in terms of anything we've covered today or any other features that you think would be really valuable, make sure to share those with your client success manager. The main driver of our roadmap comes from you guys, from our clients that are really interested in getting more out of Consensus. You're the ones that we want to make sure are happy and are continuing to use the system. So we do love hearing from you, and we are going to try to add some filtering inside of the Create Demo Board. And I'd love to hear more if you want to share some of your thoughts with your client success manager on what other types of filtering you'd like to see inside of that page as well.
Okay, well, thank you, Brian. We're going to have to cut to get ready for the next session. So if you want to share what's coming down the pipes, we'll let everyone know what to expect in the next hour.
Yeah, so coming up next hour, we have Ramping Implementation with Adam Freeman, who's a phenomenal presenter. If you haven't ever watched him present anything before, on track 1. And then track 2 is how to streamline the sales process within an international company. So if you are working international, Oliver is phenomenal. And if you haven't watched him before, we recommend that as well. Kind of a tough choice here. So whichever one you don't watch, just remember we are recording these so you'll be able to jump back and watch the one that you missed.
Perfect. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of ConsensusCon.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.